And honestly 100%, like down to my core, I feel like he's never gonna come home. Hi guys, my name's Courtney and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, as you can probably already tell if you are a long-time subscriber. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. I also want to make this video just because I have gained a few extra subscribers over the last few months, so I just want to kind of retell my story and kind of connect with you guys a little bit more. First of all, my name is Courtney. My husband's name is Andrew and he is in the military, and we have a 10-month-old daughter named Talia. I've never really told the story of how it all happened, how the military panned out, and how, like, where it all started. So I'm going to just briefly go through how it started, especially because if you yourself are looking for this video because your partner is about to join the military and you're looking for, you know, experiences and what it's going to be like, this is just my personal experience, and yes, it's going to be different for each country. I live in Australia and this is just how it panned out for us. My husband joined the military in late 2013. His initial training was supposed to be 6 months. It ended up being 9 months. Then we didn't have a baby, so it wasn't too much of an issue. I was still a flight attendant in Brisbane. This is where we lived. This is where all my family are. This is where all my friends are. So it was kind of like, it sucked having him away for 9 months, but at least I had a support network. Andrew finished his initial training in August of 2014, where he proposed and I said yes. The army had decided to not give us our first choice of where we're going to live and move us to Townsville, which obviously I was devastated because I had to move away from my family. And not only that, my brother is very sick. I've mentioned in previous videos that he is special needs, and I don't think I've mentioned before, but his lifespan is questionable. He wasn't supposed to live as long as he has lived, so every day that we get with him is a blessing, and I was sacrificing every day that I could have with him. So that was devastating in itself. The army moved us to Townsville. We didn't get a say in it. We lived in Townsville for 3 years, and for that 3 years I still worked as a flight attendant. Luckily enough, we have a base in Townsville, so I just transferred there and I flew out of there. Those 3 years were, at the time, what I thought was going to be the hardest time of my life. It was rough because I didn't have a support network, I didn't have family, and on top of that, Andrew was away all of the time, which made absolutely no sense to me, that I had to move away from my whole support network and then he just left. The army took him away all the time. He, for the first couple of years, was away more than he was home. He was my husband-to-be. I had to move with him. We married in April of 2015. We've just hit our 3-year wedding anniversary a few days ago. We married in Brisbane, so we drove here for the wedding to Brisbane to have our friends and family around us when we got married. And then 3 days after our wedding, we had to go back to Townsville so that he could go back to work, and he left again. So we still haven't had a honeymoon. It's been 3 years since we've been married, and he hasn't been home long enough to plan a honeymoon. It hasn't happened. It probably never will happen, which is fine. That's how it is. The weekend that we did plan away for our honeymoon is a local island in Townsville, and unfortunately my job saw that that wasn't going to happen. I got called out for work and it got, like, it didn't happen basically. We got a day and it was just, it was just upsetting. So my job as well takes me away, not as much as his, but you know, it took me away enough that it was annoying. I no longer do that because we have a baby and someone has to be home for her. So if you have a job that is going to take you away, or it's not consistent hours or whatever, if you're going to have kids, you're probably going to have to give up your career if you're with an army man or a military person. So just be prepared for that. Late 2016, there was talk about a deployment in 2017, and Andrew was put on the list for deployment. So we knew that he was going to be deployed when we started trying for a baby. It took us, I think it was 8 months to get pregnant. So he didn't have as much time with her as we had hoped because we didn't fall pregnant straight away. He left for his deployment when she was 8 weeks old in August of last year, in 2017. So he left when she was 8 weeks old, The army moved me back to Brisbane, which I am thankful for. I have family here, I've got my friends here, so that is probably the only thing they have ever done to help me out, is move me here to be with my family while Andrew was deployed. It is now late April 2018 and he is still not home. He has finished his deployment. He came home for a month of leave after his deployment, and the army has kept him in Townsville. This was not our choice. We applied for a base transfer while he was deployed and the army lost the paperwork, so it never got processed. As a result, the army is now questioning my eligibility to live in a defence house here in Brisbane because my husband lives in Townsville. So not only did they lose the paperwork and not process the transfer, they're trying to kick me out of this house where I would have nowhere to live. And let me tell you, they don't care. The military always has these ads promoting, you know, a great lifestyle and a family lifestyle, and that is not what it is at all. There's not one shred of care. They don't give a crap if you have family. They don't care if you have a baby. They're gonna send you away and they're not gonna bring you home. That's how it is. That's the way I see it. Your story may be different, but this is just how it's happened for me. We are still waiting to hear back from the army about his transfer, and honestly, 100% like down to my core, I feel like he's never gonna come home. If you are clicking on this video in hopes of finding an uplifting story about the army or the military because your partner is about to join, I'm sorry, that's not what this video is. It sucks. I posted on my Instagram last night about how much I'm struggling, and I got so many positive messages from my followers and my subscribers, and honestly I can't thank you enough because that is all the support I have right now. Nobody understands. My family doesn't understand how lonely it is and how much the army has just made me resentful and angry towards my husband, which is not okay. I apologize for the depressing tone of this video, but this is just how it is. This is how military life has panned out for me, and I don't enjoy it. It's a very personal decision for each family. You might be able to handle it, but I am not coping with not having my husband around. Not just because I want some emotional support and some affection or attention or whatever, but also because my daughter is growing up without her father, and that is not what I want for her. Sorry, the sun's doing crazy things and coming out from the clouds and then hiding again. So the lighting's probably crazy in this video, I apologize. Being completely 100% honest, it's very hard not to blame Andrew, even though I know it's not his fault that he's not here. He wants to be here too, even though sometimes it doesn't feel that way. I haven't had my husband around for 8 months. It's really hard to trust and know someone that hasn't been there for 8 months. People change so much, so rapidly, and when you see them again, they're not the same person, so it's hard to maintain a marriage and it's hard to maintain a relationship with someone who's not there. Long distance sucks as it is, but not having the option to see them is just, it's cruel, it's unfair, and that's what the military is, that's what the army is. The past 4 or 5 years that Andrew has been in the army, it's just been one thing after another of them just giving us crap, and there's not been a break. There hasn't been a positive thing at all, because even though they did move me here to Brisbane to be with my family, they took my husband away, and that is not positive to me. There's not a single thing that I am thankful for from the army. I truly wish my husband wasn't in the army. I wish that, I do. But he is, and that's what he is doing. As hard as it is to support someone who's not there to support you, that's what I have to do. I have a baby and she needs her dad, even though he's not around because of the army. There's nothing I can do. This is where I am in my story at the moment. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? We don't know. We have no idea if they're going to transfer him here or not, if he's going to leave the army or stay in the army. Originally, he had told me that if they don't get back to him in the next month, then he's going to discharge and just move here. But now it doesn't look like that's going to happen because we need an income and he's not qualified to do anything else. I just might not have my husband around. I don't know what's going to happen. And that is exactly what it's like having a partner in the military. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where you're going to live. You don't know if they're going to be around. You don't know anything. So it's not only the emotional side of things that you miss out on having your husband away, not having a support, person with you to make you feel supported and loved and emotionally supported, but it's also the physical things that, especially as a mother, you really need help with, like getting up in the middle of the night with the baby, getting up early with the baby, putting the baby to sleep, like cooking, cleaning the house, everything. You don't get a second to yourself when you're doing it by yourself, which is not just military orientated. Single mothers do that too. I understand that. And I get that FIFO workers whose husbands work, a few weeks on and like a couple of weeks off or whatever, they have to go through that too. Having a spouse or a husband in the military means he's going to miss birthdays and he's going to miss anniversaries, he's going to miss Christmases, he's going to miss Easters, he's going to miss your baby's first steps, he's going to miss your baby's first birthday, he's going to miss everything, and that's hard on him too. It's not just hard on you, but everything falls on you because you're the one that's there, you're the one that has to deal with everything. You're the one that's there. He's the one that's working. He's got his friends around him. He's got friends who are in the same circumstance as him. You just have you as a military spouse. You're alone and you've got no one that understands what you're going through. It's lonely, it's isolating, it sucks, and I wouldn't recommend it. That's just my opinion. I haven't quite got out everything that I wanted to get out. I haven't explained everything that I wanted to explain. There's things that I'm missing. I didn't write a script down. I just sat down and talked to you guys. So if there's anything I've missed or you have any questions, do let me know down below in the comments. Thank you again to all of my subscribers who have commented and made me feel supported and loved, because I so need that. I don't get that. If you haven't already subscribed, you can subscribe below if you would like to follow our journey and see where it ends up. I would sure like to see where it's going to end up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.